Fog hangs over lotus ponds at dawn, a wooden water gate waits quietly, and an entire city's morning depends on one pull. Fishermen push reed boats through still canals, listening for temple bells that mark time better than any spoken promise. In a stilt house, a mother measures rice into a clay bowl, because today's ration must last until nightfall. A boy carries water in 2 jars. Each step splashes precious drops, and neighbors watch like judges without speaking. Then the first lever creaks, water rises, channels wake, and fields drink as if the land is breathing again. At the canal edge, engineers stretch a measuring rope, checking slope and flow, because a mistake means drought for thousands. Workers pack mud into embankments with bare feet, stamping rhythmically, while insects swarm and sunlight hardens their labor. A stone mason taps a plumb bob against carved blocks, aligning corners so tightly daylight cannot slip between the seams. Nearby, a guard watches the gate, not for enemies, because water theft is crime, and hunger follows quietly behind it. By mid-morning, markets open, fish, herbs, palm sugar, woven cloth. Prices change with the water level, not with rumor. A scribe marks tally strokes on a palm sheet, unreadable from afar, yet powerful enough to settle disputes instantly. In temple shade, officials inspect weights on a grain scale, because cheating flour today becomes unrest before the moon rises. Heat climbs, canal water slows, and farmers glance upstream, fearing the gate will close early for someone else's benefit. A messenger runs along the embankment, sandals slapping wet clay, carrying orders that cannot be argued in public. And in the afternoon glare, the city reveals its secret. Angkor isn't stone, it's water, rules, and disciplined labor. The sun turns brutal, workers wipe sweat with linen, yet the canal's surface glitters, hiding currents that decide tomorrow's harvest. In a workshop, potters spin clay fast, shaping storage jars, because grain survives only when sealed from insects and rot. A carpenter planes timber for a lock gate, listening for cracks, since one weak plank can drain a district overnight. Along the road, ox carts carry laterite blocks. Wheels sink in mud, and every delay steals daylight from construction. At a half-built bridge, the measuring rope returns. Builders adjust stones by finger width, chasing stability like prayer. Children gather reeds near the waterline, weaving mats for roofs, because dry shelter matters more than beautiful walls. In the market's shadow, a vendor weighs rice twice, then ties the ration bowl with cord, guarding portions like treasure. A priest lights incense, smoke curls briefly, but the real ritual is accounting, offerings counted, stored, and redistributed later. Suddenly, the canal level dips, whispers spread, and faces tighten as if the city can feel thirst approaching. A guard strikes a small bell. The sound cuts through heat, signaling that water rights are being enforced right now. At the gatehouse, an official checks a wooden token, then gestures sharply. Access is permission, not a natural gift. A farmer pleads with palms open, but the lever stays still. Rules are colder than drought when written into practice. Downstream, fields fade from green to dust, while upstream gardens stay bright. Inequality appears without a single sword. As evening nears, women cook fish over coals, watching the canal like a clock, timing meals to water. And when the sky turns bronze, torches ignite along embankments, because night brings thieves, rumors, and quiet sabotage. After dusk, the canal becomes a corridor of shadows. Torchlight trembles on water, and every ripple sounds like footsteps. 2 guards walk the embankment slowly, spears low, listening for splashes that could mean stolen jars or broken locks. In a stilt house, a father counts remaining rice by touch, not sight, because darkness hides both hunger and shame. A child coughs softly, damp air clings to lungs, and sickness spreads fastest where families sleep closest together. Outside, frogs sing, but the city stays alert. Water is wealth here, and wealth always attracts risk. Near the gatehouse, a carpenter tightens rope around a beam, reinforcing the lock, his hands moving carefully in torchlight. A messenger arrives breathless, sandals muddy, carrying an order that shifts tomorrow's flow and today's sleeping peace. Officials gather under a lantern, faces half-shadowed, arguing over priorities, fields, temples, or the workers' quarters downstream. The lever is lifted a finger's width. Water slides forward, controlled, like mercy measured in inches, not generosity. Far away, a woman hears the change in the canal's voice and relaxes her shoulders without understanding why. Before midnight, a thief tests the gate silently. A guard's hand snaps to his spear, stopping trouble before it grows. No heroic battle happens, only a tense stare, breath visible, and the thief backs away, choosing survival over punishment. In the dark, rules feel heavier. One mistake can cost a hand, a home, or a place in the village. At a cooking fire, embers glow low, families eat quietly, saving scraps, because tomorrow depends on stored discipline. Above them, stars burn cold. Below them, the canal moves like a living line connecting strangers through shared dependence. Near dawn, fog returns, softening edges, torchlight dies, and the city's face becomes gentle again, almost innocent. Workers wake early, rubbing eyes, following bells and habit, because routine is how a giant city stays alive. A builder checks the plumb bob once more. A small tilt today becomes a collapse years later, he knows. At the water gate, the lever waits again, the same wood, the same rope, the same quiet power over thousands. And as sunrise breaks, the lesson becomes clear. Angkor runs on water, rules, and people who cannot pause. Morning light warms rooftops. Smoke from cooking fires rises briefly, then vanishes into fog, leaving only smells of rice. A boatman pulls along the canal, muscles tight, because moving goods early avoids midday heat and crowded gates. At a small dock, merchants trade fish for salt, weighing portions carefully, since shortages start with careless arithmetic. A farmer kneels by young shoots, checking moisture with fingertips, praying the upstream schedule won't change again. In the distance, drums echo faintly, reminding everyone that authority lives nearby, even when unseen. Builders climb a stone terrace, hauling baskets of sand, each step measured, because one slip can break bones quietly. A mason chips a groove for drainage, guiding rainwater away, since floods can ruin walls faster than war. Under shade, women weave palm leaves into baskets, their rhythm steady, because storage is survival when seasons turn. A scribe seals a clay token with a simple mark, unreadable to outsiders, but trusted enough to settle arguments. By late morning, the market thickens, voices rise, but real power sits with the scales and the gatekeepers. A dispute erupts over weights. An official intervenes calmly, resetting the grain scale so nobody can claim ignorance. The crowd quiets fast, because punishment is public and immediate, and humiliation lasts longer than hunger. Along the canal, a cracked embankment leaks. Workers rush with mud and reeds, plugging the wound like surgeons. Water pressure pushes back, hands tremble, yet the patch holds, and relief spreads through shoulders more than words. At noon, heat shimmers over stone. The city looks eternal, but every system here survives only by constant repair. A guard inspects the lock beam, tapping it with a knuckle, listening for hollow sounds that signal weakness. Nearby, children chase a stray goat. Laughter flashes, then fades, because chores and rules return immediately. In a courtyard, elders debate water rights quietly, their voices low, like they fear the canal itself is listening. A messenger delivers a new priority order. The lever schedule shifts again, and faces tighten across the district. The city doesn't collapse loudly. Pressure accumulates in small decisions, like stones stacked too high without mortar. Afternoon clouds gather, the first heavy drops strike dust, and the canal surface breaks into rings that feel like warnings. Farmers cover stored grain with woven mats, because rain can spoil a season faster than any thief. In the gatehouse, officials consult tokens and seals, choosing which channels open first when storms arrive. A young laborer watches, realizing power isn't muscle, it's access, timing, and who holds the key ring. The lever moves again, slow and deliberate. Water surges through stone-lined channels, controlled like an animal on rope. Downstream, children cheer at the rising water. Upstream, workers brace embankments, knowing overflow can destroy homes. A builder sets a plumb bob against a leaning wall, correcting it by finger width before rain turns error into ruin. Market stalls close early, vendors pack baskets, because wet streets invite accidents and theft in equal measure. Under awnings, families huddle close, listening to rain hammer leaves, counting supplies without speaking. The city becomes quieter in storms. Only the canal remains constant, moving beneath everything like a hidden spine. By dusk, rain eases, puddles mirror torchlight, and guards return to their slow patrol along the embankment. A suspicious footprint appears near the gate. A guard kneels, touching mud, reading intention like a silent letter. In a small home, a mother dries cloth near coals, careful not to waste fuel, because wood is scarce. Across the canal, a neighbor's roof sags. Communal help arrives, not from kindness alone, but shared survival math. Every repair is a bargain. Help today, receive help tomorrow, because isolation is deadly in fragile systems. Late at night, the gatehouse lantern flickers. An official seals a token pouch, securing tomorrow's priorities from meddling. A messenger sleeps beside the doorway, sandals still on, ready to run if alarms sound before dawn. In darkness, the canal carries whispers, real or imagined, making even brave men glance behind their shoulders. A distant shout dies quickly. No chaos follows, only quiet breathing, as if the city refuses to waste energy. Before sunrise, fog returns again, and the water gate waits, unchanged, patient, holding power without pride or mercy. Dawn breaks softly. Fishermen move first, poles slicing water, because early catches feed markets before rules tighten. At the canal edge, a farmer checks soil moisture, then looks toward the gatehouse, reading fate in distance. Officials arrive with tokens. The day's flow is announced by gestures, not words to avoid argument. The lever shifts, water obeys, and 1,000 small lives adjust instantly, like birds turning in wind. Angkor's greatness is visible in stone, but its survival lives here, in schedules, repairs, and disciplined restraint. If one gate fails, the city floods. If one gate closes, the city dries. Both disasters, born from the same mechanism. The real miracle isn't temples, it's maintenance. Mud packed daily, locks tested nightly, channels cleared endlessly. And the real tragedy isn't war, it's neglect when a few missed repairs become a chain reaction across neighborhoods. So the city teaches a timeless rule. Systems don't collapse from one blow. They collapse from ignored small duties. End on the water gate at sunrise, lever still, fog lifting, as workers begin again, because survival is repetition. Morning markets reopen, damp air smells of fish and wet earth, and coins clink softly as trust rebuilds after rain. A potter fires new jars, watching flames closely, because storage fails when clay cracks, and hunger follows silently. Along the canal, workers clear reeds and silt, pulling debris by hand so water keeps moving without obstruction. A supervisor checks baskets of mud, counting loads with simple marks, because labor is measured before it is praised. Nearby, children fetch water carefully, learning early that spilling is waste, and waste becomes punishment in lean weeks. At midday, temple courtyards fill. Priests distribute offerings, but every portion is weighed, guarded, and recorded by watching eyes. A guard inspects a gate token, then steps aside, granting passage like a judge, because access creates order. Downstream families wait in shade, listening for canal sounds, because a stronger flow means dinner arrives sooner tonight. A builder repairs a cracked stone channel, tapping joints until water stops seeping, chasing perfection under harsh sun. When heat peaks, markets thin out. Only essential trades continue, because fatigue makes mistakes, and mistakes cost lives. Afternoon brings visitors from nearby villages. They arrive with baskets, seeking fair weights, fearing city rules they cannot negotiate. Officials meet them calmly, offering fixed measures, because too much chaos invites conflict, and conflict breaks fragile supply. A messenger runs again, delivering an urgent priority shift. The lever schedule changes, and whispers ripple across stalls. One neighborhood celebrates rising water, while another tightens belts, realizing fairness can vanish with a single decision upstream. At dusk, cooking fires glow. Families share thin stew, stretching ingredients, because tomorrow is never guaranteed in systems. Night patrols resume, torches reflect on dark water, and guards walk slowly, listening for rope snaps or quiet splashes. A thief tests a storage lock. The padlock holds, and the thief retreats, knowing punishment is swift and public. Inside a home, a father teaches a child to measure grain, because knowledge is protection when rules are strict. Before dawn, workers gather at the embankment, ready with mud and reeds, because maintenance begins before the city wakes. Fog lifts with sunrise, revealing the same truth again. Angkor survives by disciplined hands, not by stone alone. At sunrise, a festival drum echoes briefly, reminding everyone that joy is allowed only when water and work remain steady. Farmers bring first harvest bundles to market, but officials still inspect weights because celebration never cancels regulation. A scribe seals a token pouch, then hands it to a runner, protecting priority orders from bribery and panic. Along the canal, workers dredge silt with baskets, lifting heavy mud that smells of rot and persistence. A builder checks the plumb bob again. Even sacred stone must obey gravity, or tomorrow's rain will punish. Midday heat returns, shadows shrink, tempers rise, and a small argument over water jars nearly becomes a fight. A guard steps between them, calm but firm, because order is cheaper than violence, and violence breaks supply. In a quiet courtyard, elders negotiate water turns, counting hours by sundial shadow, keeping peace through routine. Downstream, children refill jars quickly, laughing softly, unaware their comfort is engineered by strangers upstream. The lever stays open today, but everyone knows it can close tomorrow, and uncertainty shapes behavior like law. By afternoon, clouds threaten again. Families move goods indoors, stacking jars higher, protecting food from flood and theft. Workers reinforce embankments with reed bundles, tying knots tight enough to bite skin, because water pressure shows no mercy. A supervisor listens to the canal's sound, judging flow by ear, because instruments are rare, but experience is sharp. Market vendors trade quickly, then vanish into alleys, because storms bring darkness early and darkness invites crime. At dusk, torches flare, patrols spread out, and the city's visible power becomes simple light on wet stone. Night falls heavy, a gatehouse lantern flickers, and officials count tokens twice, guarding tomorrow's schedule like a secret. A distant shout rises, then stops. No chaos follows, only tense breathing, and the canal continues moving calmly. In a stilt house, a mother portions rice carefully, teaching restraint, because survival is discipline repeated without applause. Nearby, a child traces a measuring rope's knots, learning that knowledge can protect a family as much as strength. Before dawn, workers gather with mud baskets ready, because maintenance is the real religion of a water city. Sunrise again, fog lifts, revealing canals like veins, and the same lever waiting, patient, indifferent, powerful. The city's grandeur is temples and towers, but its heartbeat is routine, clearing silt, repairing stone, enforcing turns. One gate controls access, yet the system survives only when many hands obey rules they did not write. When drought comes, discipline becomes mercy. When floods come, discipline becomes protection, and both require coordination. This is the unbelievable truth. A mega-city can be defeated not by armies, but by neglected maintenance. End on workers packing mud into embankments, feet stamping rhythm, because history is built by small motions, repeated endlessly. End on the grain scale in morning light, because fairness is measured, not promised, when supplies run thin. End on the plumb bob against stone, because architecture survives only when precision defeats fatigue. End on the Watergate lever, because whoever controls flow controls life, even without swords or crowns. And end on sunrise over calm canals, a beautiful city sustained by systems, until the day the systems stop.